Attention passionate Montreal, Canadiens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the Atlantic Division and it could shake up the entire conference. We're talking about a direct impact on Montreal Canadiens' path to another Stanley Cup run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Montreal Canadiens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Montreal Canadiens fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been following the Canadiens lately, you know that this team, despite some ups and downs, has shown real promise. Last season, they were arguably the youngest team in the entire NHL, and they managed to punch well above their weight, making the playoffs and giving fans hope that better days are ahead. The core young players like Cole Caulfield, Juraj Slavkovsky, and Nick Suzuki have demonstrated that there's real talent here, and with a good offseason, Montreal seems poised to build on that momentum. But what's really exciting is the buzz around potential roster moves that could elevate the team even further, particularly in the offensive department. And one name that's been making waves in the rumors mill is Jonathan Drouin. Yes, you heard that right. The same Jonathan Drouin who was drafted third overall by Tampa Bay in 2013, who then made his way to Montreal in 2017 in a trade that sent Mikhail Sergachev to the Lightning. Drouin, a Quebec native, has always been a player of intrigue, talented, creative, but also dealing with some of the pressures that come with high expectations, especially when playing for his hometown team. Now, after spending 6 seasons with Montreal, then leaving for Colorado, there's talk that the Canadiens might be looking to bring him back. And why wouldn't they? Drouin, at 30 years old, is still a very capable offensive player, and his experience could be exactly what the team needs to add secondary scoring and depth to their middle six. Let's take a closer look at what this potential reunion could mean. First, Drouin's production last season with Colorado was quite solid. He scored 11 goals and 26 assists for a total of 37 points in just 43 games. Impressive numbers considering the Avalanche's depth and the competition. In his 6 years with Montreal, he accumulated a total of 48 goals and 138 assists over 321 games, amassing 186 points. Not bad at all for a player who often has been viewed as a high-upside winger with the ability to create plays and contribute offensively. And considering his recent performance, he's still very much in his prime, eager to make an impact. The financial aspect is also quite interesting. Drouin signed a 1-year deal with Colorado last season worth $2.5 million, but he had previously taken discounts to play alongside Nathan MacKinnon, with whom he played in junior hockey. Now, with free agency opening up, the expectation is that Drouin will seek a more lucrative contract, probably in the ballpark of 4 years at around $6 million per season, according to some NHL insiders like Frank Saravalli. That's a significant jump, but it also makes sense given his offensive production and experience. The Canadiens, who are in a bit of a rebuild but also looking to contend sooner rather than later, could see Drouin as a valuable piece to add secondary scoring and veteran leadership, especially on the second or third line. Of course, bringing Drouin back isn't just about his stats. It's about the narrative and the chemistry he can bring to the team. Having grown up in Quebec, returning home to Montreal would be emotionally meaningful for him, and that kind of motivation can sometimes translate into even better on-ice performance. But it's not all smooth sailing. Drouin has spoken openly about the pressures of playing for his hometown team and the mental toll it can take. In interviews, he admitted that the weight of expectations and the constant spotlight can be overwhelming. His agent, Alan Walsh, has also highlighted the isolating nature of being a hometown player, especially when things aren't going well. He described how players often tend to cocoon, avoiding crowds and social interactions to cope with the stress. And that's where the decision becomes nuanced. Returning to Montreal could be a double-edged sword for Drouin. On one hand, the familiarity, the support from the local fans, and the chance to write a new chapter in his career are compelling reasons to come back. On the other hand, the intense scrutiny and the pressure to perform can be daunting. It's worth noting that after signing with Colorado, Drouin mentioned to ESPN's Ryan S. Clark that the experience of playing in his hometown was tougher than he expected. "Until you live it," he said, "no one's ready for it." That honesty speaks volumes about the mental resilience required, and perhaps returning to a team that's still somewhat building its identity could be a better environment for him to thrive. Now, what does this mean for the Canadiens' roster strategy? Well, adding Drouin would give them a veteran presence capable of contributing offensively from the middle six. He's still capable of chipping in, especially on the power play, and his playmaking ability can help young stars like Caulfield and Slavkovsky develop further. Given that Montreal is actively looking to bolster their offense, especially in secondary scoring, Drouin's familiarity with the team and the city makes him a logical target. Furthermore, his experience and leadership could serve as a stabilizing influence for the younger players, many of whom are still adapting to the NHL lifestyle. But it's not just about filling a roster spot. Montreal's management seems aware that to truly contend, they need to be aggressive in the offseason. This includes not only signing players like Drouin, but also exploring other free agents, trades, and draft prospects. The team's core, led by Suzuki and Caulfield, is blossoming, but depth and experience are crucial to making a real push in the playoffs. Bringing back a player like Drouin could be the piece that turns a promising team into a genuine contender. Plus, it sends a message to the league that Montreal is serious about competing and building a team with a mix of young talent and seasoned veterans. Now, let's not forget the larger picture in the NHL landscape. The Atlantic Division is fiercely competitive, with teams like Boston, Tampa Bay, and Florida investing heavily in their rosters. The Canadiens need to keep pace with these teams, and smart offseason moves are essential. If they manage to re-sign Drouin, along with other key signings or trades, they could position themselves as a dark horse in the playoffs, especially if their young players continue to develop. The team's recent playoff appearance was a sign of progress, and fans are eager to see how they build on that momentum. Looking ahead to the upcoming season, expectations are cautiously optimistic. Montreal's management has expressed a desire to be competitive, but also realistic about the challenges ahead. The Atlantic Division will be tougher than ever, with teams like Toronto and Ottawa also making significant upgrades. So the Canadiens will need to be smart, strategic, and perhaps a little bold. Bringing back Drouin could be part of that bold strategy, providing both offensive punch and leadership. And here's a little more context for you. Drouin's style of play, his vision, his ability to find open lanes and create chances, fits perfectly with Montreal's fast-paced, skill-oriented approach. His chemistry with players like Caulfield and Suzuki, who thrive on quick passes and creative plays, could be rekindled if he returns. Plus, his experience in the playoffs and in high-pressure situations could be invaluable for a team that's still trying to solidify its identity as a playoff contender consistently. In terms of team development, Montreal's focus has been on nurturing their young talent while adding veteran pieces to fill gaps. The offseason will be crucial for the Canadiens to not only re-sign key players, but also to identify new targets that complement the existing roster. Drouin's potential return is just one piece of this puzzle, but it's a significant one because of his familiarity with the city, the team, and his ability to contribute offensively right away. If he does return, it could also inspire other free agents or trades, signaling that Montreal is committed to competing and improving. And as we look at the broader NHL picture, the Canadiens are trying to position themselves as a team that can challenge the established powers. They want to be a team that can disrupt the hierarchy in the Atlantic and push deeper into the playoffs. That means making bold moves, and reuniting with a player like Drouin might be just the kind of bold step they need. It's about blending youth with experience, speed with skill, and building a cohesive unit that can handle the rigors of an NHL playoff run. Of course, nothing is guaranteed in hockey, and Drouin's decision will depend on many factors: his own ambitions, contract offers, and how he feels about returning to Montreal. But the possibility alone has fans buzzing, and it's a storyline that could define the Canadiens' offseason. Will they bring him back? Will Drouin embrace the challenge of playing in his hometown once again? Those questions are still open, but one thing is for sure: this potential reunion has the makings of a compelling chapter in Montreal's ongoing quest to bring Stanley Cup glory back to La Belle Province. And now, Montreal Canadiens fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential reunion? Do you think Drouin can be a key piece for the Canadiens next season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the future of the Canadiens. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates and insights, so stay tuned for the latest Montreal Canadiens news. This team is on the rise, and with your support, we're all part of this exciting journey. Let's keep the passion alive and see what the future holds for the Canadiens. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Habs.